Hey everybody, we're here with the Sosana community that is growing and growing by the day. We had a nice call last night and another good one earlier this afternoon. And this is oh, look at Reggie Sullivan. Wave to me, Reggie. Is that a picture? Or is that you real live? That's a picture of Reggie. Okay, he's one of our core team guys, but I rarely get to see his face. So anyway, guys, hey, it is him live. There he is. Wave, Reggie. He's one of our team guys here.
Can't hear you, Reggie. You're muted, pal.
You're muted, buddy.
You're muted.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. And that's actually not a fake backdrop. That's like 5 minutes from my house right there.
All right.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. I know you live right there off the golf course there. So life is good, brother. I love it. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's been a while since I've done these kinds of conference calls. I've been building tech and doing other things for years, and other people have been running these for me. And I'm realizing now that we're going to need to switch to a webinar platform within Zoom. So that'll be probably handled sometime tonight or tomorrow. It's going to be a little easier for these calls. We can have panelists and so on. So, but you know, I want to thank everybody for coming up and showing up here. It's an exciting time for all of us right now, right? This is what we've been waiting for. A lot of hard work has gone into everything, right? I've been, in fact, I'm exhausted, and I'm probably going to turn the mic over to my buddies Brian and Mark to continue the call, because it's been an extremely long day for me. So I'm going to kind of sit back, Mark, and let you start up, and then move on to Brian, and then I can pick it up right after that. So why don't you go ahead, brother?
Sounds good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first of all, welcome to everybody, especially you new members, but everybody that shows up on this call. And the more people you bring to this, the more exciting it gets. We're just really happy to have everybody here tonight. So again, my name is Mark Ross, and I've been in the industry. This is something I actually didn't even introduce myself last Zoom. I've been in the industry I've worked from home literally full time for like 25 years, but I got into crypto back in 2015. I bought my first Bitcoin, and I really got serious about crypto because I still didn't even know what blockchain was. Somebody introduced me to what blockchain really is, I would say, by like 2020. So this is what's really funny. I never really fully understood what blockchain was, even in 2017 when I made like $250,000 just buying all those altcoins that just showed up. And of course, then I lost about 225 grand or so, you know, because I didn't know what cycles were. I didn't know anything, but that's just kind of my history with crypto. But I've been a part of other companies. I've helped other companies get started. But this is really the first one that I've ever been like a co-founder of, and I couldn't be more proud. I've never been more confident in a project as far as like its concept. This concept is like something you've never seen before, and if you guys don't know about it yet, I think you're in for a real treat tonight. But what happened was kind of how we got started. David called me up one day, and David is somebody I've known for literally like 2 decades, over 20 years, and he and I have been in crypto, and especially I would say over the last couple years, you know, we've kind of been degens in and out, you know, investing in different projects. And we got really big into the Solana ecosystem, looking at different meme projects and all kinds of different projects out there, technology, AI, whatever. And he called me up one day and he goes, I have the perfect meme token concept. I said, what do you got? He goes, we're going to call it Sosana. And I said, well, okay, what does that mean? He's like, shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished. And I immediately thought it was funny. I started laughing. I was like, that's perfect, right? And so, you know, that's what he started to develop.
Mark, just a reminder. I'm sorry to jump in here, but I got the bug when that happened, and I stayed up throughout the night writing an entire website. I just couldn't stop. I was cracking up, and I couldn't wait to share it with Mark in the morning. And I started reading it to him, and he was absolutely in hysterics. And we were laughing,
awesome.
and that it just took me back to that moment. You know, I forgot about that. That was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, what makes a meme coin successful? Well, number one, relevancy, something that everyone can really kind of relate to. Not everyone, but a lot of people, right? But I think everybody in the Solana ecosystem and network can relate to this, right? Shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished. I mean, how many times have we felt that way? Just buying and, aping into all these degen tokens out there. And it's got that relevancy to it, of course, so we can all laugh. If you can laugh at yourself, you're going to laugh and you're going to love Sosana as far as from a meme perspective. And then sometimes it's political. Whatever creates that relevancy is what makes those meme tokens just explode. But then if it's humorous and it's entertaining on top of that, it can grow even more. And so we knew we had a winning meme token idea. We knew it. And David just went to town. I mean, that's what David does. If you give David an idea and he likes it, he just goes crazy and he starts developing. And he put this whole website together. He even put together the Rick and Morty cartoon, and everything is going along great, and we're loving it, and we know that we have the potential to have a lot of success. But then I kind of came up with an idea. I said, we should actually, and this is kind of how, honestly, I'm going to look back and say, I don't even know exactly how it all culminated and developed into what it is now. But I came to him and I said, we should, first of all, we need a 3% transaction tax. And we talked about that because of the bots and all the problems that would solve. But then we went into this voting mechanism and bringing about this community where there's strength in numbers and creating this safe haven for the community. And actually, what really kind of came about is we thought this is going to save the Solana network. Because what's wrong with Solana? Well, first of all, Solana is the number 5 blockchain in the world, right? It's one of the biggest blockchains in history, and it continues to grow. It's outpacing almost everything. And the reason why is because it's so scalable, it's fast, the transactions are pennies, so it really came about and captured that part of the market, but it also made it because of that, so user-friendly, so scalable, that we all have come to realize that there's way too much supply and not enough demand. There's too many meme coin projects. There's too many AI projects. There's just so many projects popping out. And if you go to Pump Fun, I mean, you can't believe it. There's literally thousands of projects per day coming out in the Solana network and the ecosystem. So that created a severe problem, because what are you going to do in a situation like that? Again, there's way too many options, too many decisions. You don't know what to do. So a lot of people, matter of fact, I've even talked to some crypto owners that are starting brand new projects that I said, so what, where are you going to launch? You're going to get on Solana? Or he's like, no, I don't want to get on Solana because the reputation, unfortunately, that started to grow. So we came up with what we think is just an incredible solution. And what I mean by that is we have created this community where it's really kind of become this safe haven. And it's actually designed to make it so that everybody in this decentralized community can participate in helping each other find and sort through quality projects, find those really good projects. But how does that happen? Well, we decided to have a nominating mechanism that people can vote on. What does that mean? If you're holding, the way it's designed is if you're holding $500 worth of Sosana, you can nominate your favorite project on the Solana network. And if you're holding just $50 worth of Sosana, you can then vote for those projects. And so the way we've set this up, we've also put in what we call a transaction tax, and I'll get into what that means. If you look at most of these meme projects on the Solana ecosystem, you'll see that they all brag about 0% buys, 0% sells, no taxes. And hey, listen, I love no taxes and I hate taxes like everybody else. But here's the problem with that. You see, on the network, because Solana is so inexpensive, it's so fast and it's so scalable, it's made it way too easy for the trading bots, these automated bots, to come into these decentralized exchanges and start trading them and manipulating the market. And here's what I mean by that. If you've ever gone in and if you've seen the order flow, like if you're looking at all these buys and sells coming in on this chart in a decentralized exchange, you've probably noticed some of them that come in. For instance, an example would be you see a wallet purchase $10,000 of that token, and right away you're like, oh, cool, somebody just bought 10,000, that's cool. But then like 30 seconds later, that same wallet sells all those tokens for $10,050. What did they do? They just pushed up the buy pressure into that token in that liquidity pool, and they just slammed back out and just stripped $50 out of the liquidity pool, which does what? Taxes the whole community. So the truth is, whether you like taxes or not, if there's no fee, you're paying them. I mean, in the Solana network, you're going to pay those taxes no matter what because of those trading bots. So the whole community suffers from that. So we implemented a 3% transaction tax, which made it so that we could eliminate the bots and then take that money and turn around and actually reward the community. And here's how we do it. 1% of that 3% actually goes towards a liquidity wallet, which helps enable and build up the price. Now, if you didn't see the last, the professor came out with an awesome question. David answered it. And that liquidity is there to help build up the token, to actually put buy pressure at some point into the token rather than letting it be snatched out, right? But the second one is a 1% that goes to what we call a marketing wallet, which is now divided because of a pre-launch token project and voting mechanism that David had literally just designed, you know, a little bit later, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But the third one, this is where you got to really take notes. Okay, don't forget this part. You want to start, if you haven't heard this before, this is what I'm about to explain to you is historic. It's never been done in crypto history, and it's the #1 reason why Sosana, we believe everyone in the Solana ecosystem and network is going to find out about us. And here's what it basically is. 1% of that 3% will go to what we call a degen voter bonus wallet. That wallet is there to provide rewards to those participating in the election process. Now, let's get back to what I said earlier. Remember, we have an automatic staking mechanism where if someone's holding at least $500 worth of Sosana, they can apply whatever token they want to nominate to our decentralized app by connecting their wallet, nominating that token. We have a 2-week process where everybody that wants to nominate projects can nominate those projects, okay? So you got to hold $500 to do that. During that 2 weeks, you can nominate it. Nobody sees the nominations until Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. All of the nominations will be revealed. And then all the people that are qualified to vote that are holding $50 in Sosana can connect their wallets to that DApp and vote on their favorite project. Now, the beauty of this and why we think it creates a safe haven is because there's strength in numbers. We know that the more people are in our community, the better projects we're going to discover. Like there's going to be people out there that just discover amazing projects, right? But they're going to nominate those projects. And what the voters are going to do from the community is we're all going to work together synergistically. And we're going to come together and we're going to forge those nominated projects into a pre-qualifying process through the election, right? That allows us to find the most quality projects. That's the whole purpose of it. And that alone, I could just stop right there. And we're already doing something that's never been done in history in cryptocurrency that I know of. I've never seen anything like it. But I'm going to take it a step further and tell you where the magic happens. Remember that degen voter bonus wallet I told you about? Well, as 1% of the transactions are coming in, that's buys, sells, transfers, everything. As 1% of that comes into that wallet, it continues to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So the bigger our community is, the more people holding Sosana, the bigger that wallet gets, right? And what happens is we open up that voting process. It's a 48-hour window where from Saturday 7 p.m. to Monday 7 p.m., everybody casts their vote. And then at 7 p.m., the winning token is revealed. So the token that wins the vote is going to be revealed to everybody that has $50 in their Sosana wallet and wants to see what the winner is. And from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., you're going to know which token the wallet is going to purchase. So the wallet is growing during this entire time for the purpose of rewarding the community in buying the winning token and then airdropping everybody that voted for the winning token that token. Now that what I just explained to you has never happened in crypto history until now. As a matter of fact, the professor put it really well when he said during the beta version, before we got scammed by our own developer, which is another story we'll get into, but the beta version, actually we had a vote and literally I want to tell you, this is a proven model. Just to kind of give you an idea, we probably ended up with about 200, a little over 200 people in our community at the time. We went from less than a tenth of a penny all the way up to almost 19 cents in about 2.5 weeks. We also held our first election process where 13 of those token projects from the Solana ecosystem were nominated, and 11 people voted for the one who actually won the nomination. I think second place had 8 votes. So first place had 11 votes. And for the first time in history, it was only a requirement to hold just $50 in Sosana to make about $370 to $380 in reward from the bonus pool, because it had around $4,000. We did about 400,000 in transactions. And so this is this small scale example of what actually happened. And let me tell you something, folks. For the first time in history, there was a requirement to hold just a measly $50, and people were paid a reward of 7 to 8 times what was required to hold in those tokens. That has never happened in crypto history. We even did a testimonial video that we recorded. Find out from the person who invited you where that video is, because you want to see it. It's on our YouTube channel. You can see it. People come out and talk about an amazing experience that they had. But the reason I bring all this up right now is, on a small scale, you got to understand this is proven. Okay, we're not talking in theory. We're not talking about just something that's about to happen. We're talking about something that's already been proven. And when's the last time that you got a chance to be right at the very beginning of a proven concept like this before it ever even started? And again, is proven and is now gonna what we believe is gonna make history. We believe that the bigger the wallet gets, we think it's gonna reach what we call a tipping point. Now, before I get into the tipping point, I just want to tell you that Brian does an excellent job on this part. Everybody has loved what Brian has brought in his addition to these Zooms we've been doing. Brian, I want to bring that energy back, brother. Come back and just kind of fill people in on what happens next and what we're anticipating with Sosana.
Yeah, thanks, man. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, brother. As always, man, you do a great job, man, of kind of just teeing this up and really laying down a foundation. I love the historical reference that you bring to it about how you and Dave figured this out and where this all just kind of came from, because I like the origin stories. I'm a big Marvel comic guy, right? So we love the origin stories and know where the superheroes came from and the super projects came from. But one of the things I want to say, and I'll just kind of bring this up for those of you who are new on this call. When Mark talks about this, he lays it out and he just makes these statements as if they're nothing. Like he says, yeah, we went from a tenth of a penny to 19 cents in 2.5 weeks. And again, I think if you're not a crypto person, you may not quite get that. You might say, oh, 19 cents, wow, way, but you don't understand. I mean, with a tenth of a penny to 19 cents is 190x. I cannot stress that enough, right? Because I don't think a lot of people, if you're not from the crypto space, you don't really understand how crypto works, right? Like people, they don't get that if the asset moves by 10%, it means your holdings move by 10%, right? So if the asset goes from 0 to 19 cents and they go 190x, and you had $100 worth of worth of Sosana at that time, that means you went from $100 to $19,000, right? It's a simple thing. Just multiply it by 190. So when you think about it that way, when you're like, whoa, I could have turned $100 into $19,000 in 2.5 weeks, if I had gotten it at the very beginning. Now all of a sudden you realize that Mark kind of brushed over that. But maybe that's not something that you want to have brushed over in your mind. Maybe that's something you might have run to write down as a note, because as you go out and you start talking to other people and they said, so why should I care about this company? I mean, every single day people are telling me about 50 different things. You could say, well, hey, this company had a beta run, and in their beta run, they grew by 190x in 2.5 weeks. So brother, if you had thrown in $100 or $500, what would 190x have done for you in 2.5 weeks? Have you ever made that type of return in your entire life? That's why you care about Sosana. Maybe you want to hop on the call. Maybe you want to come join the community. So just kind of, again, just little things, man. I hear this. I see people, I see Mark say it, and I don't see people doing backflips. I know it's slipping by you. Hopefully now all of a sudden it's not slipping by you. So that's a little note point you might want to take. Other thing he said, though, and he does this on purpose because he likes to tease you a little bit to see if you're paying attention, is the way that this works. Mark likes to be real conservative. He said, hey, man, we believe, we think that, listen, that tipping point thing he's talking about, Man, and you know, Professor talked about it earlier. We said, hey, if you go look at some of these top tokens, you can see what they're doing, man. You guys go look at the top 50 tokens, right? Don't even start at number one. Don't look at Bitcoin because it's ridiculous. You know, Bitcoin's volume yesterday, I looked at it, it was like $69.4 billion yesterday in volume that they did, transactions in and out, right? But you know, don't use Bitcoin. Go down to number 30 or 35 or 40 and click on whatever that token is and go click on and see what was the 24-hour volume. And you know what you guys are going to see? That all these tokens there in the top 50, they're all doing almost 100 million at the bottom. Like number 50 might be doing $100 million in transactions per day. Per day, right? And then it just goes up and up from there to billions of dollars in transactions as you start going higher up. And if you consider that and you consider, okay, what's 1% of that number, just 1% of that number, and then we're gonna take 1% every day for 2 weeks, and we're gonna put it into a pool that not only could you win a percentage of the pool, right? You can actually be a voter, vote for the right project, and win a percentage of that pool in terms of the tokens we're going to buy. But hey, we're telling you in advance, hey, we got this huge purchase. We're telling you at 7 o'clock on a Monday. Hey guys, guess what? At 8 o'clock on a Monday, we're going to go onto the exchange and we're going to buy, we're going to tell you exactly how much because we'll tell you the pool value. We're going to buy $100,000 worth of token XYZ in 1 hour. And if anybody understands anything about cryptocurrency, understands anything about having information at the right time and then taking the right action, right? I heard a lot of people say, man, just once in my life, I like to be at the right place at the right time. Well, you're going to be at the right place at the right time every 2 weeks of your life. When you join Sosana, every 2 weeks for the rest of your life, you'll be at the right place at the right time. Here's the question. Do you take the right action? That's the only thing that's going to matter then. Don't be there and say, man, I should have done something. Everybody else is getting rich. Maybe I should have done something. Don't be there and not do the right thing, right? Do you take the right action? Every 2 weeks of your life, you're going to have the opportunity to take the right action. So even if you're afraid in the first 2 weeks, you're a little skittish in the second 2 weeks, by the third 2 weeks, you should be all in, right? And as people start hearing about that, man, they say, wait, why is your portfolio doing so great and my portfolio looks like garbage? Hey, Sosana, baby, that's all it is, right? And it's going to grow from there, man. It's going to grow because you're going to have the information. And again, every time we talk about this, I think to myself, man, I'm aware, like I've been on the calls with David Track, man. I heard about Sosana 2.5, so Sosana 3.0. Like there's so many other cool things that are going to come down the road to make this even more and more and more attractive. But before you even worry about that, just worry about getting yourself in position. So let's talk about some of the basic mechanics here, right? Because we talk, you know, here's the math I just want you to remember. You know, Mark just said, hey, we went from 10th of a penny to 19 cents, 2.5 weeks with only about 200 people, right? 200 people. We've got thousands and thousands of people right now lined up at the gates right now saying, when can you guys open up so I can put my money in and I can take advantage of this token and get right placement? So if it happened with 200 people, what do you think is going to happen with thousands of people? Okay, again, just think about it. Okay, we're not allowed to make promises, but I'm allowed to lay out the information. You can come to your own conclusion. So just think about that, number one. Number two, what makes a token more valuable, right? It's the size of the community, right? It's how many people are excited. As the community grows, more and more people want to buy, more and more people want to hold, want to participate, more and more people are engaged. That's where you see these tokens go through the roof. So not only are we actually putting together something that people are going to want to join and buy, right? But we're putting together a built-in engagement mechanism. Every single 2 weeks, everybody's going to want to actually be. Here's what I want you guys to remember. I don't know if we make this very clear, but I want you to remember this. At that 7 o'clock hour, when we say, hey, here's the token that won, and here's the amount of the pool that we're going to be paying, the only people who get that information are the people who actually were involved in the process. What does that mean? That means there could be 1 million people in Sosana, but only 500,000 of them decided to engage in the voting mechanism. Those 500,000 get the information before the other 500,000 will an hour later. That is something critical to think about. So if the only way you can involve in the voting mechanism is to be holding on to $50 or more or worth of Sosana, what are we encouraging people to do? We don't have to talk about staking. We have an automatic built-in reason for people to hold on to Sosana tokens, right? And a built-in reason for people to be paying attention to this community all the time, because there's going to be a reason for them to do it. So they're going to get more information. So if you guys are thinking about that, you can start to understand why we're so pumped up. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is simple, man, because when we sat back and we really thought about this, we said, hey, our job then is to not only put together this incredible project, right? But then to think about how do we get the community to go on steroids and be supercharged to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. And we've learned, I mean, over time, when people are incentivized to go talk about, when people are excited about something, they'll talk about it. But when they're incentivized to go talk about it and they're excited, they'll really go and talk about it, right? So we said, man, let's put together this affiliate program, and if so we can get people to go do it. Now, remember, affiliate program, and I want to stress this to my network marketing friends. There's a reason. I had some people say, man, why you guys should have did a binary, bro, or you should have did this, you should have did that. No, because I'm going to tell you why. And this is coming from a network marketer. So this is not somebody who does not like network marketing, love the industry. But when you do network marketing, blend it with crypto, it brings you up to a whole different level of scrutiny that you have to deal with, right? And we had some very, very smart legal minds tell us the best thing you guys can do, man. Can we mute that guy, please?
I think it's Jesse Artis. Hey, Jesse, if you could mute.
Hey, Brian, unmute yourself, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we basically had to set it up where we said, listen, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to basically avoid some of those headwinds that we could run into. And we're going to keep this broken down to being a 3-level affiliate, which gives us the ability to have some people create some organizations, some teams, especially some of the cool stuff we're going to do with it, but also keeps us still in that affiliate realm and space, and not the network marketing space, which actually makes us cleaner to all the regulators, et cetera, et cetera. Because this is not for, hey man, let's just come up with something cool for 3 months, right? This is a lifetime pursuit for us. So I just want you guys to understand that. So let me do this. You can tell me when, I'm going to try to share my screen here, and then I just want to give the basic overview of what's happening here with. Tell me, guys, when you guys can see that.
We see it.
Okay, great. So first of all, you guys know, man, sometimes I can be a little bit of a PowerPoint snob. For those of you who know me, I just threw this together so we could have some visuals here on the thing. So don't give me a hard time. Don't send me any text messages. Say, come on, man, you could jazz it up better than that. But from this, you guys can get the point, man. So I just wanted to put something together for you guys real quick today so we can show this tonight and we can go through it. So the first thing I want you guys to keep in mind is our whole focus and goal was to simply go out and say, let's create this affiliate program so we can give people a reason to supercharge the growth of the community, make it even hotter, make it smoke out of the gate. We decided, because it's going to be an affiliate program, the most amount of levels we could go and still be considered affiliate was 3. So we picked 3 levels. And then we also said, okay, what are we going to do to drive the proper behavior within this community to get people to go out there and really share it? Because I mentioned this earlier, and again, I'm a bit of a data nerd, and I study this industry like nobody's business, and I know that there's consumers, right, who never go out and talk to anyone, and that's okay. We're happy to have you come on in, buy some Sosana, be a part of the voting pool, et cetera, and help to drive that. There's social enrollers who will go and on average recruit about 1 to 2 people. There's salespeople who recruit about 3 to 5. And then you got your sales leaders who are going to go about 6 to 9 people. And then you have what they call super recruiters. Now, what's interesting is a super recruiter is only someone who recruits 10 or more people. And I know we've got some super recruiters on right now, and you guys are thinking 10 or more, that's like a bad Wednesday for me, right? And I get it, but I just want to tell you the significance of that 10 or more people and super recruiters. Every single metric that's been ever studied about the industry can be traced back to how many super recruiters you have as a percentage as to how your company or your team is doing. And here's some basic things for those of you who are team builders. If you didn't know this, you can write this down, right? If 1% or less of your people on your company or on your team are super recruiters, just 1% or less, you're in decline. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? When you're trying to basically build something. If 2% of your people are super recruiters, you have nice even keel, right? If 3% are super recruiters, you have double-digit growth in terms of sales, and in this case, in terms of revenue for you guys. And if you have 4% or more, you are in mass momentum. So knowing that, we said, okay, let's make sure that the way that we develop this is it's going to start off with, we want to have something cool for affiliates, but we also want to give some people some incentive, and we want to stair step them through potentially getting to this super recruiter stage for those who can do it, because they're going to bring some extra value here. The final thing I want to say before I show this is for those of you who are sitting on here right now, you're like, dude, it's just not me, man. Listen, I just want to buy a token, bro. I don't want to talk to other people. I don't want to recruit. That's not what I do. You don't have to do any of this. This is completely optional, but please understand, if you like to eat dragon meat, these super recruiters, these are the people who slay the dragons and bring them back to the castle so you can be sitting there with your feet up to eat dragon meat. So we got to do some stuff for these guys, because they're the people who go out and they kill it and they get the word out and they build up the value so you can sit back and relax and say, I can't believe how high the Sosana price is going and how much my portfolio is worth. So with that said, let's get into it, okay? The first thing we're going to talk about is what's unranked, which every single person who signs up, this is your commission structure. Before you ever go do anything, you've got a 3-level commission structure, 20% level 1, 15% level 2, and then level 3 is also 15%, okay? And all affiliate rewards are going to be paid out in Sosana tokens, okay? So you don't have to ever go out and refer anyone. If you never refer anyone, that's okay. You can still just accumulate as many Sosana tokens as you can. You can actually involve yourself in all the other aspects of where you can make money here, and you can sit back and you can actually still win. But for those of you who want to get some leverage and want to build up your Sosana holdings faster, you can simply do that by going out and referring some people. And if you refer your first person, you're going to get 20%. Of what they paid to get started. So if of their signup. So if they decide they're going to come in as a founder, $99, $20, right? That's pretty cool. $20 worth of Sosana too, which is really cool, because if you refer somebody on day one, I promise you this. I don't know if I can say I promise, Andrew. I apologize if I'm not saying. I think this is going to happen. If you refer somebody on day one, the $20 of Sosana that you get on day one is probably going to be worth a whole lot more on day 3, day 4, day 5, probably. I'm not making promises. I don't want to get ourselves in trouble, but I'm just saying, think about it that way. This is in Sosana tokens, not in dollars. So you are actually going to be compensated in what we believe is going to be a rapidly appreciating asset. You can actually see that for yourself as we start moving forward. So simple compensation, very easy to understand. Again, you don't have to talk to anyone if you don't want to, but if you want to go talk to some people, our first rank is going to be called the DGen rank. And this is very simple to get to. You simply have to refer 3 people personally to Sosana. Not very complicated to do, but 3 personal referrals that decide to join Sosana. You're going to give them your referral link. They will join what we call frontline to you. For those of you not familiar with this, it just means they're a personal referral of yours, and you're going to get a raise right away. All of your personal referrals from that point on will be worth 25% to you. All of your level 2 referrals will still be worth 15%, but your level 3 referrals will now be worth as much as your level 1 referrals. And for those of you who are team builders, you can probably see what we're doing here. Number 1, we know that there are some super affiliates coming to the table. I'm hearing some names, man, that I can't even sleep at night, man. You guys wonder why I'm so excited, because I'm hearing names of people and I'm like, oh my God, they're here. That's going to be incredible. I'm excited for what's going to happen with this project. But when you're looking into the referral marketplace, we said, man, listen, we want to get up to that range. A lot of people will say if they're in the referral market, they're getting somewhere between 12 and 15%, every time they move a product or a service or whatever. That's not bad. 25% is really generous, right? So we wanted to make sure that for those that are just like, hey man, I'm a super affiliate, I have a big giant following, I'm going to do some webinars, put out some YouTube videos, I'm going to go 10,000 wide. We wanted to make sure that we were giving them an incentive to want to go 10,000 wide if that's what they want to do, and they're going to pick up some really, really nice commissions there, and they can use that to pay for their marketing if they want to. They can use that to simply build a Sosana bank, right? But you guys that are team builders, right, you can already start to see if the level 3 is big, right? There's going to be, when you think about geometric growth, there's going to be far more people down here normally than you have up here. And the fact that you can get paid just as much down here, well, you guys can see where we're going with this in terms of making sure that we are rewarding the proper behavior. So DGen, simply go out and get 3 people. You get a raise on level 1, raise on level 3. Now we're starting to cook and we're starting to get people excited. Now, from this point, right, this is where we're more in that, sales people range, whatever, normally people who go out and recruit 3 to 5 people, but we want to give people incentive, again, to start pushing towards that super recruiter stage, because the moment that we have 3 to 4% of super recruiters, we are rocking and rolling. And when I say we, I mean you, me, all of us, because the faster the community is growing, the more it benefits all of us, okay? We all want to see Sosana's token go from 1/10 of a penny to a penny, to 10 cents, to $1, to $10, to $100, right? That actually benefits all of us. So the faster this community grows, the more excited people are, the more people buy, the more people incentivized to hold, all these types of things. That's all going to help us do that. So to push towards the next level, we go to the rank of a hodler, okay? And this is going to be definitely more aggressive. This is for true team builders, not casual referrers, okay? So there's a difference. Now, you might be a casual referrer who eventually goes out and refers 10 people, and then maybe some of those people that you refer are decent level team builders, and it can happen for you. But a hodler, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have to refer at least 10 people. So now we're pushing you into the super recruiter level, which is what we're looking for. At least 10 or more. I know again, for some of you guys, that's a bad Wednesday. I got it. Some of you guys are already going to refer hundreds and thousands of people to Sosana, but at least 10. And then you have to have a total of 100 referrals within your entire team, with no more than 30 referrals being counted from a qualification standpoint. Remember, you can have thousands of referrals in each leg, but from a qualification standpoint, no more than 30 can be counted from any given referral leg. That's what I mean. For those of you who aren't familiar, when I say leg, it just means this person right now, that's one of your legs. This person, one of your legs. This person, one of your legs, et cetera, right? So over here, I don't care if there's 100 people in this leg, that's great, but we're going to count a maximum of 30, right, towards your qualification for hodler. So this is just an example. We would count 30 from here, 5 from here, 30 from here, 5 from here, 30 from here. That would give you your qualifications, 100 total or more, no more than 30 being counted from any given leg. You are going to be a hodler. I want to just make sure everybody understands a couple things here. Number one, this is calculated through infinity. So even though it's a 3-level payout, you don't have to get the 100 people in your group compressed into your 3 levels, right? That's not fair, right? We wanted to make sure we were fair to the people who are really working, and we wanted to give you an incentive as well to be willing to go work with people, maybe even below your 3rd level or 4th level. For those of you who are leaders, wait till we get to the end. You're going to have a huge incentive to go work with people below your 3rd level, but we wanted to give you an incentive to do that. So it's going to be calculated through infinity, and so you don't have to worry about where they actually fall at, and you will be able to see the tracking through infinity. But remember, the payout here is going to be through those 3 levels. And once again, we're going to give you a raise again on level 3, because now we understand as a team builder, and you understand as a team builder, there's going to be a lot more happening down here than it's happening up here. If the only thing you ever want to do is just go wide and you're never going to recruit somebody else as a team builder who's going to build anything, that's okay. But I will tell you what, even if that's your plan, is to just go wide, accidentally, some of those people that you're referring, they're going to start referring some others, and you're going to start ending up with a pretty healthy 2nd and 3rd level. So the fact that the 3rd level is actually getting boosted up now, you can earn more in the 3rd level than you're earning your 1st level. That shows that we understand the mechanics of how this works, and we're going to make sure that we're putting more Sosana tokens and rewards into your pocket. Finally, the 3rd rank that's here is just 3 ranks. Okay, well, unranked is not really a rank, but unranked is where everybody starts. Then you go to DGen, then you go to hodler. Now you're going to come up to whale. And as a whale, again, you're still going to have the same amount of width, that minimum of 10, although I know most whales are going to go a lot wider than that. And you're going to have 3 separate legs with a hodler, once again, anywhere in that leg. So it does not have to be a hodler popping up in your first 3 levels. I'm showing one here on level 1, level 2, level 3, just so it fits on the screen. But it could be a hodler on level 7, a hodler on level 10. Doesn't matter. We'll actually look for the qualifications through Infinity. But once you have that set up, you will actually be a whale. We are then at that point saying your organization is now going to be getting much more mature. So we're going to give you another bump up here on your level 2 and a bump up on level 3. Now you're making 10% more on the 3rd level, where you'll have the most amount of action than you're even making for your personals. So again, this is going to reward team builders. We're looking for people who are going to bring this extra value and build a community. So those of us who just want to sit back and chill and not tell anybody, we can all be rewarded. And we're going to be rewarded because, again, these guys are out there on a daily basis doing nothing but slaying dragons. So we appreciate these guys. We want to reward them because they're making it so that we can all eat dragon meat. So keep that in mind. So quickly, just to review that again, starting off unranked 2015 and 15, DGen, we add 5% to level 1, 10% to level 3. Those are those numbers. Hodler, we add 5% again to level 3. So those are those numbers. And then Whale, we're going to add 5% to levels 2 and 3. So that's the final numbers, right? Which is 80% being paid out initially through this 3-level compensation plan. So a potential maximum there of 80%. However, still not done, guys, because I want to show you the coming soon thing that we're really putting together again for leaders. And we just need to figure out a couple of these percentages, but we are actually keeping space right now. I know Kapil is on here. This has already been communicated to him. So we're keeping space right now for 2 bonus pools that are going to be coming soon, a hodler pool and a whale pool. And the only thing that we need to decide right now is what the percentages are. We want to make sure that we're doing enough to be really super generous for the leaders, but also we're doing enough to be really healthy for the project as well, right? So this is, though, the incentive for you guys to not be so concerned about what's happening just in my 3 levels, right? But also what's happening throughout my entire team, and also what's happening throughout the entire Sosana community as a whole. I love bonus pools. I do, because once I was in a company where they had bonus pools, I realized that I had an incentive to basically work with people, whether they were on my team or not. Because once I was in the bonus pools, I was getting a piece of everything that was happening throughout the entire company. So I didn't really care if you were on my team or not. You were still contributing, you know, to the bottom line financially for me and my family. And that's what we want to do for you guys. So for the hodlers and for the whales, we're putting together bonus pools. We're going to actually come up with these percentages very soon, and we'll be able to tell you what they're going to be. But once you get into that hodler pool, you know, and that whale pool, you will actually get a share of these bonus pools, and that percentage will be representative of what's happening at globally, not just within your team. So that is a huge, huge deal. And those of you who have been around, you get it. We want to create a massive incentive for people to say, I'm gonna go out there and bust it to become a hodler or become a whale, because this can actually go ballistic. You know, when Mark starts talking about those numbers and that tipping point now, as more and more is coming in, these pools will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're going to see the people who hit hodler and whale in our community get massive, massive, massive rewards. We want you guys to be in this with us, feeling like that you're partially an owner of this, because we all are, right? And that you have a huge, huge incentive to keep this going, to keep it healthy, to keep actually, you know, attracting more people, and to keep helping other people, you know, progress and advance themselves within the community, because it's building this, and it's building your personal bank account. So with that said, guys, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second so I can get back, man. Hopefully that was clear. And Dave, I'm going to just turn the call back over to you, sir.
All right. Whoa.
Boom.
Boom. So somebody wrote something so funny. They said get Brian's zip code because he's on fire. They got to call the fire department on you, brother.
I love it. I love it.
That was beautiful, man. You know, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and there's a reason why these guys are the core team, right? This is it. We've got the right stuff, and you know, perfectly said. Sign me up, brother. That was amazing. You know, listen, what we're doing here is really trying to change the behavior that we all have had, right? Everybody has been expecting the kind of bull run that you've always seen, right? We've seen it in the past. It just wasn't the same. It just didn't take off like it did in the past. And we know the reasons why. And it's not, Sosana didn't do it on purpose. It's by design. It's with pump fund and everything else that like Mark had said, way too much supply, not enough demand. And I don't know anybody who just has Solana tokens, right? We all have some Ethereum, some Binance, some Bitcoin, and there's only so much money to go around, so it kind of bleeds out all over the place. And we watched it happen. We've seen Bitcoin go on this incredible mad tear with all the altcoins kind of dragging behind, either dropping a little bit, moving back up. Some of the strong ones would get up a little higher, and we've seen just recently that they've gone back up, but they're just not really doing what we're expecting and hoping to do. And so we believe that by having a community that has so many ways to earn money, and that we can all kind of be connected together in a trusted system, trusted community with like-minded people. You can figure out in conversations who's holding what tokens, what's the latest, where's the trends going, and no longer do you have to sit there and wonder, is this where we should be? Is this where we should go? We're all going to be aping in together. So like Brian had said, when Monday happens at 7 p.m. and the reveal is there, you see the top 10 tokens, all 10 of them are going to start doing it. We saw that, right? We in the beta, what can we call it, the beta now? In that beta tester, we saw all 10 tokens do something. But of course, the number one winner was the driving force. And so look, your portfolio should be a strong one. And the idea is to kind of put the blinders on and not to go outside of what we're doing. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but we're trying to sort of cauterize the bleeding of the Solana network. And if we can affect that, there's no doubt we will have repaired the crypto market that is been slightly damaged. And of course, we have a president that is very love him or not love him. He is a pro crypto president, and you can see what happens when you got a pro crypto president. You got a strategic Bitcoin reserve. They're going to go back to the gold standard. You can see what's happening here with the Federal Reserve. Things are shaking and moving, but I still think that the crypto, not just Bitcoin, but the altcoins, have a long way to go. And then there's going to be lots of new projects popping up that deserve to be learned about, seen, and voted on, quite honestly. And this becomes a launch pad, a platform for the industry. And ultimately, that's what we become, right? We just become that kind of a trusted, safe haven system for everybody to earn together, make a crap ton of money. That's what it's all about. So now I want you guys to know, Brian had mentioned this, but fortunately we have Kapil here on the call. I didn't really get a chance to speak with him that much because after the call, it was time for him to go to bed. So I'm glad he was able to squeeze in enough sleep to make it here. Thank you, Kapil, for showing up.